Ew, excuse me. Okay, so would this work? So I have this whole thing so that it could be kind of like eye level to me and everything. Okay, so what I'm gonna do? What if I turn? This helps. Oh wow. Okay, so now in the previous chapter, I discussed coming out to my mom. Now, I'm not sure if I should discuss coming out to my dad, coming out to my brother. I think I'm gonna do dad first, and then for brother, I'll do my brother and my sister next time. But coming out to my dad. So this process was a bit more difficult because if you noticed my previous chapter, let me turn down the volume. Oh my god! So, in my previous chapter, I came out to my mom, 7th grade, middle school. Not by choice, but because I was caught blue-handed, red-handed. But this time for my dad, it was much more willing, and I was older as well. Throughout my time growing up, my mom, after she found out, would continuously be like, so when are you going to tell your dad? When are you going to tell your dad? And for me, it was always difficult because it's all like, my dad has always been very critical of me. He's very machismo, very Mexican, very Latinx in terms of the stereotypes and in terms of those things, unfortunately. And so me and my dad have not been like always seen eye to eye. And then so I'm gonna discuss certain events that have happened with my dad in later chapters, and then also just the overall relationship right now that I have with him as well. But so the way that I chose to come out to him, we were coming back from a party. This was 11th grade. I want to say this was sometime in November. Um, um, Sometime in November, wow, I feel like I'm really at a loss of words right now because usually I don't when I tell this story, it's more on a one-on-one basis. So this, I don't know. Let's see how it goes. Um, but okay, so came out to him my junior year. Um, we were coming back from a party. He was slightly like, and that's when my dumbass thought it would be such an amazing idea to tell to tell my dad that I was gay. So we get back home and I'm just like, my mom and dad. Let me cancel this video because it looks stupid. I don't know what song to do. And I am telling you. I'll just play that one. So I told my mom right before I told him when we got back, I'm like, I'm gonna tell my dad, you have to act like you don't know what's going on. Because if my dad found out, he would end up going crazy that my mom found out before him. I feel like he's gonna end up, like, if for some reason, some odd, weird reason, he watches these things, he's gonna know that my mom knew before him, and he might get mad, but... So basically, I sat my mom and my dad down. My mom said okay with my plan of her pretending like she doesn't know. And this is the first time that I tell both of them, because my mom still had the assumption that I was bi. This is the first time that I tell both of them that, Kay, I have something to tell you. It's been really hard for me to say this, but I'm gay. My dad went through the same things that my mom asked me, like, are you sure? Have you ever been with anyone? How positive are you? And I responded the same way that I responded to my mom, and I'm like, nope, I've never been with anyone, never kissed anyone, and stuff like that. One relationship at that point. I have kissed I have had English language. I have I did already kiss someone. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. But I wasn't gonna tell them that because then they'd ask questions. So I, ooh, now my brother might end up knowing. Okay, shh. Okay. Wow, I can't believe I've kept so many secrets from them. Shit. Anyways, um, told my dad, yeah, I'm positive I am. When I look at girls, I just don't, there isn't anything there for me in terms of attraction or anything like that. Like, I see a girl and I think she's very beautiful, I can say that, but I won't want to say that I want to be with her. When I look at a guy, I can be like, didn't say that, but you know what I mean. And so I just told him, like, you would never get asked if you're straight, how sure are you? So then my dad's all like, are you sure? Because I feel like this is something that, at least when he's spoken to certain individuals, they've had this thing where they go through phases, apparently, where they themselves go through these things. And he just thinks maybe that's what happened with me and stuff like that. And I'm just all like, nope, it's not a phase. I'm pretty sure it's not a phase because this has been something that I felt since I was born. And I guess for my dad, it's just been very difficult for him to come to terms with that. Simply because, like, he there were always moments when I growing up that I was like I do feminine things. I never brought home a girlfriend, and I always hung out more with girls, never really with guys. And so for him, those were like trigger warnings. Sorry for using the word trigger, but that's what it was for him. Trigger is a very like for those of you who don't know, it was a word used for people who were mentally disabled once before to identify them. I think that's what it was. I am not entirely sure, so don't quote me, and I am sorry if I am incorrect. But yeah, I try not to use that word as much. But for my dad, it was very like, it just signaled a lot of warnings for him in terms of like just me in general. And so growing up, there would always be like, I would get bullied about the fact that, oh, I might be gay, oh, about all this other stuff. And so, and he had like my cousins from his side of the family would pick on me because of that. And so like it was always issues and stuff like that. And so I'll probably discuss those things later on as well. But yeah, so for my dad, it was just very difficult for him to really like see just me being gay, and it just actually coming to like it actually just coming all together, and it actually like him having to face those kinds of things. So for him, it was just like overall very difficult. So then tell him we kind of had this conversation about it, but not really. I felt like he was very invalidating of how I felt. He just pretty much said, okay, let's talk about this another time, let's talk about this tomorrow or something like that. And we didn't actually even talk about it. We just kind of like, it was just like kind of pushed to the side. And I told him like, I don't like that. Like, that's something that's been very like apparent in our family when we all lived together, is the fact that like my dad, we'd have certain conversations, certain things would happen, and then we'd act the next day like nothing happened. And for me, it's more of like, no, we need to address the problem. If I feel a certain type of way, we need to talk about those things, because then we're just invalidating the situation, the feelings, and then those things get pushed off to the side. Then the following time that something happens, those previous feelings just add up and do something else to someone else. So that's why I always feel the need to like either discuss a situation that moment or the following time or the following day or something like that. Something so that it just doesn't seem like it's like wishy-washy or whatever. So then, come to find out, my dad's not okay with it, because, like I said, I came out to him in like November. I want to say maybe November, December. So then a few weeks later, it comes to, let me turn down the volume a bit more. We don't want no copyright issues and shit. Can't even hear shit anymore. Okay, well, y'all probably can't hear it. I kind of want to hear it in the background. So then, come to the day of New Year's. Not New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve happened. It was New Year's Day, so January 1st. My cousins come over, and we're all like having fun and everything. My dad's not really joining us. It's like cousins from my mom's side. So my cousin Crystal's here, my aunt's there, cousin Crystal's boyfriend. We went and got pizza. We came back. We're just chilling and everything. My cousins leave. My dad comes back because he was in the backyard drinking and everything. He comes back out and he just starts going off on my mom. And I'm just all like what's the point of this? So I end up defending my mom. He's all like, oh, why are you arguing with me? Who are you to argue with me? And I'm like, I'm a person who's here, not gonna let you argue with my mom. I'm not gonna let you do those kinds of things. And it's pointless too. Like, I was all like, it's fucking January 1st. Like, really, you're gonna be ending, like, you're really gonna enter the year like this? Like, what the fuck? Well, I didn't say that, but that's what, like, my mentality is right now. Like, why are you doing this right now? And so for him, like, he just starts arguing with me, and then he starts saying this, some statements that he said before, in which he said that I'm not his son. And so he kind of referenced, I'm not your son, you're not my son because you're like that. And by that, he meant me being gay. And so, like, for me, it was just all like, really, like, that's how you really feel? Like, I don't get this, like, this thing. And there's actually another story that fits in with why he doesn't call me his, why he at times says I'm not his son and stuff like that. And that for sure will be a chapter. Don't worry about that. Yeah, he just kept, and then he just starts going off on me, and then for me, it was just kind of like, really, you're just gonna start calling me lazy, stupid, fat, stuff like that, and I'm like, these are things you've already told me before, and I told him too when I came out to him, like, I don't care if you don't accept me, I find it pointless. I find it stupid if you kind of want to, like, attack me for these things. Like, if you're not okay with how I am, I'm okay with who I am, and I'm just gonna keep on moving forward. But for him, it was very, like, he felt like calling me names. He felt like by antagonizing those kinds of things, like, I'd really be hurt. But nope, I was just, like, we were just arguing, and I'm like, why are you getting loud? Why are you arguing? What is the point of this? And, like, that argument just keeps escalating and stuff like that. And then it gets to this point where the thing that really set me off was the fact that he says, he tells my mom that no, he does not love his kids. So this is him speaking while he's drunk. At the same time, you should not be saying shit that you, like, don't mean. But for me, it's all like, say what the fuck you want about me. Say whatever fucking shit you want about me. Like, you, honestly, like, you could say whatever fucking shit you want about me. Yes, I'm gonna defend myself because you're still disrespecting me. But for someone to attack my little brother, who at the time, let's see, how old, 11th grade, so what, 3 years ago? 4 years ago? How old am I right now? 24. Gabriel's, like, my brother was like 10, 9, I don't know. Some type of math. But for you to involve my child's brother who has nothing to do with this, and then my sister who can't do anything, and for you to say that you don't love them, like for me, that really set me off. Like, for me, my brother, like, the way that I build my stuff around myself is for my brother and my sister, which I'll discuss later on. But for me, like, what the fuck, like, why would you do that? Like, so for me, it just really annoyed me. It really bothered me. Like, so we just, like, this is where I get intense with my arguments with him, because I'm just all like, it just pissed me off. It just pissed me off. Like, you could say that you don't love me, that's fine, but if you don't, like, for you to say that you don't love my sister who is stuck in a fucking bed, who has no choice but to be there, and for you to say that you don't, like, love her, like, that just pissed me off. That really pissed me off. It still irks me. And for y'all who are hearing this, I'm not saying this so that y'all can think badly of my dad. Like, I still respect my dad. I still have love for my dad and everything like that. But at the same time, like, these are things that, like, I just wasn't happy with. So then my brother, who was in the other room, hears my dad yelling at me. And then he comes out and starts yelling at my dad, like, don't yell at my brother and stuff like that. My dad looks at him and says, "Tú también me vas a, like, you too, you're gonna yell at me too? Tu brute?" And so he charges at my brother, and I go, oh, hell to the fuck nah. So then I run to him. I didn't explain the situation of, like, where everything was. I run up, and I just, like, So I grab his arm before he can grab my brother. He then goes to me, grabs my, like, goes to choke me, but I move back and he just grabs my shirt and then he just pulls it. So then it's just this thing where he's trying to grab me and I'm just moving back, so he stretches my shirt. My mom comes and starts hitting my dad in the face and everything like that. And then my dad finally lets go, and then we're just like, I'm over here like having this adrenaline rush of like, oh my fucking gosh, he really tried to choke me. Like, this is fucking crazy. This is some crazy ass shit. And I'm just over here like, all I can do is just like, I kid you not, all I did was just like me just rushing my hand through my hair and just pushing my hair back. Me just running my hand through my hair, pushing my hair back. And me just like breathing in and out and everything like that. My mom's now yelling at my dad and everything like that. And then it just got to the point where my dad just ends up leaving. Because that was just like the end of, like, my dad ends up leaving and I don't know where the fuck he went. But yeah, that all came together because I came out to him and everything like that. And then eventually, like, we sat down, like, he apologized for his actions, he apologized for what he did and what he said and everything like that. But at the same time, for me, it was just all like, it's one thing to put your hands on me to try and hit me, but like you know, like, discipline me. But it's another thing to go in to try and choke me with the possibility of keeping in mind that you, like that's just some, like, very, like, deep shit, you get me? And he didn't do it, and I guess he had the opportunity to when he had me like this, because homie's pretty strong and stuff like that. He could have easily like and just like and I would have been like chokehold, and he would have went and I would have been like but no, like, he's still my dad, so I just kind of pretty much like went like whatever. So then my dad's and I's relationship has always been kind of strained, so that just kind of like, and for me, like, that just added on with another situation that just went crazy and crazy. And then I'll discuss about that later on. And then come to New Year's the following year, so now I'm a senior, so this is 2016 now, because this happened 2015. 2016, New Year's, we're there, and the thing that, like, really, like, just was, like, fucking crazy is the fact that I got to tell my dad Happy New Year's, and we actually hugged. Like, we hugged, and I start crying while I'm hugging him, because it was, like, like I said, like, at that point, he, like, I honestly thought that we would never get to any certain place, but that following year, we got to this place where I actually got to, my dad told me he loved me, and he, like, we hugged, and he whispered this in my ear. He was all like, I love you, and I'm gonna accept you for, like, I have to accept you for who you are, and I'm proud of who you are and everything. I'm proud of what you've done, because I wouldn't, not many people have the opportunity to have a son like you. And so for me, like, I just started bawling and everything like that, because I never would have thought that throughout that year that I would ever hear my dad say that, like, in such an intimate way, that he loves me, and like those kinds of things. So I think that's really, like, that really did make me feel like good. But not to say that him and I still don't have issues about those kinds of things. Like, I've never told him myself about, like, I've never vocalized about me going to Pride. My mom did, and I kind of do get, like, I do tell my mom, like, Mom, that's not your place to tell him. It's more of my thing, if I feel comfortable enough with telling him. And I've been trying to tell my mom kind of does it just to, like, be like, your son is out doing what he wants to do because it's his identity. At the same time, kind of like, Ma, it's my identity, so, like, but, like, I get where she's going. She wants to, like, not rub it in his face, but she kind of wants to be like, although you put your son through shit, he is still out here. Sorry, my phone was at 20% now. Although your son is, you and your son are going through shit, like, he's still going to do what he's doing, and he's still proud of his identity. So in that sense, I get what my mom's saying, but I kind of want to be like, Ma, don't like tell him. Like it's still, for me, it's still kind of like. But yeah, as of right now, in terms of my identity with and my dad, it's like he always says that he's like okay with my identity and stuff like that. But the thing that sucks is how my mom has stated before, like, yeah, your dad and I have spoken about your identity before, and he said like, oh, we should take him to Mexico so he can get some testosterone like injected in him. And that's where I was kind of like, yo, like, how are you gonna say that you're okay with my identity, but you're over here talking about that you want to inject me with testosterone because that's apparently the reason why I'm possibly like this. So that in itself is just very like eye roll, you get me? And it's just yeah, so that's why like right now when I like speak to him, like not even speak to him, when I have those kinds of interactions discussing those kinds of things, I do get kind of weary because I'm just all like, I'm not what you need. Excuse me once again because I burped. But yeah, just it really does suck, you know, because in the back of my mind, like, he has apologized, he said these things, but at the same time, if there are sometimes arguments, there are moments where I just kind of, like, I expect him to be like, eres hota and all this other stuff, and I'm just kind of like, ugh. People say I do make a good impression of his voice when I speak. Emmanuel, ¿qué haces? I kind of, but yeah, like, overall, like, that's just me coming out to my dad. The effects of me coming out to him, I'll discuss later on in other videos, but as of right now, this is me coming out to him, and it's fucking crazy. I'm gonna go back to working on a paper that's due at 5 p.m. tomorrow. I've been lagging on it, and like I did one video and then I said, oh yeah, let me just work on the paper for a bit, and that's what I did. It's only like 2 pages, and y'all don't need to know about what I'm doing about my paper, but yeah, that's me coming out to my dad. My next chapter will either be my relationship overall with my dad, or me coming out to my brother and sister. I think brother and sister because that's much more lively and happier. Yeah. Or maybe I might do both. I already did like one before and now this one, but bye bitches.